Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Are you afraid of words? Well, if you're a child, obviously you try to protect the child from certain kind of notions, ideas, and words. But as an adult, if you hear something that you don't like, what do? Well, you have a few options. The first one is, if that bothers you, don't pay attention. If you can. The other one is debate. Maybe you are right, maybe that person is wrong. And another one is just arrest the person. Ban his speech and arrest the person. Or ban him from coming in your venue, in your country, right? Well, obviously the last option, the third option, is a tyrannical, narrow-minded, primitive mindset. All right, with all that being said, I would like to show you how we have an article from Ukrainian Pravda trying to bash, obviously, the quote-unquote, as they like to say it, president of Belarus, Mr. Lukashenko. Here, Ukrainian Pravda, Belarusian stand-up comedian sentenced in absentia for 6 years in prison for, quote-unquote, insulting Lukashenko. So obviously, Ukrainian Pravda works for the Ukrainians. Ukrainians at this time are supposed to hate the Belarusians. Therefore, the propaganda goes Lukashenko bad, Belarus bad, and so on. So, stand-up comedian Slava Komisarenko, 39, has been sentenced in absentia to 6 years in prison in Belarus. Komisarenko was charged with, and I'm quoting, defamation of the president, Article 362.2. That is, any president. So there is an article in their law saying that if you defame the president, insulting the president article, and incited to hatred, there's articles in their, law, under the criminal code of Belarus. So that means when Lukashenko leaves, the next president will also be covered by this kind of laws. Do I like this? No, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. I think it's too far-fetched. You can, hate whomever you want, as long as you don't act upon it. You can talk however you want. You can be disrespectful as much as you want, depending on the setting, obviously. Otherwise, you can be kicked out. But you don't charge someone with something like this. My point in the first article that we have here is this. Do you remember the Pussy Riot band? Remember that one? If you're not familiar with the Pussy Riot, there is a imbecilic Russian band made out of, if I remember, three women in Russia who were arrested and indicted and charged with this and that. And in America and in the West was portrayed as, Putin attacking Pussy Riot, the band who is, so free and, this guy doesn't like because they don't like Putin. Well, it was more to the story than they reported. That is, and you can watch it on YouTube. These three women, young women, they entered a Christian Orthodox church. And they started singing and acting imbecilic. That is, desecrating the setting. And they were escorted and then charged and convicted. And that is like you go, let's say, to a Jewish temple and you start over there and singing, something Wagner. You put Wagner. Richard Wagner, The Twilight of the Gods, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, Siegfried's Funeral March. I would like you to listen to that. The Siegfried Funeral March, one of my favorite. Anyway, so you do that, you will be obviously, if you disrespect the situation, you can be indicted, charged, and convicted. That's what happened with Pussy Riots. But they didn't tell you that. You have to dig into it. So I'm assuming that this guy here, Komisarenko, I don't have any evidence, but I suspect that it could be more than meets the eye here. Do I like this? I don't like it. The problem is, after Lukashenko dies, the next president will benefit of the same infringement of speech. Do I like it? I don't. Next, let me show you, because we are at Lukashenko, here. Russia Today, European Union, the country, the free, bans Ukrainian singer for 10 years over insult to Poland. Now, this European Union is the land of the free, remember? Now, we know that Lukashenko, where is he? He's not here, but anyway, Belarus and Lukashenko, these are evil. There's no freedom. So you expect to be like this tyrannical mind, the third option. But the European Union? Okay, so what did the Ukrainian singer do? He insulted Poland. What did he say? Kirill Bledny claims his rant disparaging the language and saying Poles should switch to speaking Russian. Was the joke. So that's what he said, in which he said right here, last November, he posted a short video clip full of expletives in which he said, you know what annoys me in Poland? The Polish language fucking annoys me, he says. Can you say that? You can say that in a free world. And I'm quoting again this guy. I don't understand why you would speak this fucking language when you have the Russian language, he went on. The singer suggested that Poles should, and I'm quoting, just learn Russian and fucking speak a normal language. I don't get it. That's the Russian Empire. Just join in. For fuck's sake, just join in as you did before. Now, you can say very much that he's an ignorant, right? Or you might not like that. For good reasons. I give you that. But what do? You have the first option, don't care. You have the second option, try to debate. And you have the third option, which is ban the guy, arrest him, shut him up. Well, this is what Poland, feeling insulted, and the European Union, who is different than Belarus, remember, and Lukashenko banned his entry for 10 years. So what's the difference between Belarus and the European Union? Oh, when you say certain things about certain people, it's allowed. But if you say the same things about our friends, you get banned. Now let me give you another example. Do you know who this person is? It's right over there on the right of the screen. Jared Taylor. I interviewed this gentleman a month ago or so, and he scared the Poles with his speech. He was banned from by Poland to enter the European Union twice. I think you find it in the interview, I spoke with him twice. For I think 3 years and 5 years or vice versa. Again, because the Poles were afraid of his speech. Because he says things that some Poles don't like, but some like. So Poland send it to the European Union Commission, whatever, and they banned these guys from entering. You can find it in my interview. And if not, I was aware of this because I watched many of his videos actually. And I used to watch them more in the past. Now I don't have that leisure time anymore because I was activated to do this for, okay? So here you go, my friends. This is freedom and democracy, liberty. That we're talking about here. You say the right thing against that guys, or you say the same thing about Now, what do you think? Now, if someone committed a crime somewhere, committed, genocide, something, I understand, ban that person, or when he lands on the airport, do what they always do. You put a few guys behind him 24/7. They still do it to certain people. Do that. Or ban the person. I understand that if he committed crimes, he's a danger. But thought? You're afraid of a thought? Of ideas? Why? Don't you have the arguments? What's wrong? So Lukashenko, by their code, criminal code, good or bad, it's not me to say, that's them. Now, I don't disagree with it, even though I think it's more with Mr. Komisarenko than it was with Pussy Riots. And then you have Poland being upset and telling, banning the guy for 10 years for the European Union. What's the difference? These guys don't get it. You can say what the fuck ever you want unless you threaten, unless you instigate to violence, and what else? Distribute certain kind of for minors. But we're not talking about minors here. We're talking about seniors, about people who are above the age of 18. Adults. And there's some other adults who tell you that you should not be able to see this guy if he lands in Poland. Or as he landed in he landed in Switzerland. He landed in Switzerland, and those guys, when he tried to go somewhere, he says, oh, you can't go. You can't enter the European Union. First, I think he landed in the European Union, and he was, you can't get the fuck out. And the next time he said, I'm going to probably go to Switzerland, and then from Switzerland I'm going to try it too. And they stopped him. So it was an order. For thought police, weren't the Soviets, I mean the Bronsteins in the Soviet Union, haven't they doing this with the commissars? Haven't they? Well, you need to learn certain things if you're unaware of. And if you want to start with, just read Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. It's just a good beginning. You don't have to believe me. Believe him. He received the Nobel Prize for Literature. He defected into United States of America in 1970s. He was hailed for that until they read that, hey, this guy names names in the Gulag Archipelago and the names are not kosher. Okay? So here is Western world for you. It's a farce. It's a matrix. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.